Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan and thank you for joining us for our Monday update for March the 27th. We've got a lot going on this week, nothing too severe, but a significant cold change coming through for Tuesday. That's it building there in the Southern Ocean. There's still a fair amount of high pressure sitting around northern New Zealand. So actually northern New Zealand and even western parts of the South Island may be actually leaning drier than average for the next several days ahead. There's another big high south of Australia and another one out in the Indian Ocean, but there's also some low pressure in this zone here. So there's rain across parts of Australia and New Zealand for the next few days ahead. And there's also some low pressure up here in the tropics, although it's fairly harmless at this stage. But the main feature to kick off with is the temperature drop. Now, this is the departure from normal for the maximum temperatures we've got forecast today, Monday, and tomorrow, Tuesday. So what you're seeing with the numbers are the forecast temperatures. So down here in the south, 19s and 21s, some of you might even go a little higher than that. That's for today, Monday. And then contrast that with tomorrow, Tuesday, and the daytime maximum temperatures, 10s, 11s, and 13s. Now the shading, red, along here means that those temperatures today are 4 to 8 degrees above what we would normally record at this time of the year. But tomorrow, it'll be 4 to 8 degrees below what we would normally record at this time of the year. And the North Island, I should say, not really affected for now, but by Wednesday and Thursday, that's when you'll see your temperatures dropping, especially southern and eastern areas. There's a little bit of rain on the way with this change. This is the next 3 days. The bulk of the rain's on the west coast, but it's not very much. 30, 35 millimetres, that's really about it. Maybe 10 to 20 down here around parts of Southland and 10 to 20 for parts of Hawke's Bay. Otherwise, there's not a huge amount of rain. If you need to get your local rainfall totals, that's why we've got our websites, ClimateWatch and Rural Weather. That will just give you a number. This is just a guide to see where the heaviest rain is, and most of it is just down here. Over in Australia, the heaviest rain over here in Western Australia, where you could be seeing close to 100 millimetres falling for some inland areas of the desert. And over here on the eastern side, from Brisbane down to Melbourne, there's rain. The totals are more so up in the hills and ranges, the higher totals that is, but still they're not that huge. We're talking about 30 or 40 millimetres here. Further to the south though, you are getting up to around 60 or 70 millimetres in the ranges of Victoria, up in, around the Yarras. Let's have a look at Tuesday. Here is the forecast, and you can see that cold change. Now with the high coming in, the high is actually the reason that we're getting that cold air dredged up. But because of the shape of the high, it produces a southeasterly wind. And that means the rain is mostly falling around the eastern side, not the western side as we normally would expect. So Canterbury, Otago, and then further even up into Nelson and Marlborough, a bit of rain for you on Tuesday. And then later on at night, it moves further up into the North Island. And you can see that here on Wednesday, that cold blast or the cold air going all the way up across Canterbury, Marlborough, just sneaking into Nelson a little bit, and then into the lower half of the North Island up to about Gisborne by the end of the day. Southeasterlies usually aren't too bad at this time of the year for those in the north, quite dry and should be fairly mild, but you might notice that temperature dropping by Wednesday afternoon or evening for those further north. And you can also see that low pressure all along here around Australia. That's driving in also a southeasterly with some heavy falls up there around Brisbane. As we get into Thursday, that front around Brisbane's fairly weak, just a few showers down there between Brisbane and Sydney, and a couple of showers, just coastal ones in Victoria. There's the next rainmaker over in Western Australia. And we've got this low deepening off to the east. So that drives in more of that southerly along the eastern side of the North Island, but that's high pressure just over to the west. And up in the tropics, fairly quiet, just some low pressure around Rarotonga producing just a little bit of rain, nothing too problematic for you. Now by Friday, the low out here near the North Island drifts over towards the Chatham Islands, and here comes the next low pressure system. So Friday's a little bit of a breather day, and then we go into the weekend, and in comes that low, sort of split into a couple of centres potentially, fairly weak, but the rain may be more likely in the north than the south, even though the low is actually coming in from the south. And in Australia, still some of those southeasterlies, a couple of showers coming through for you. But the next big high, that is it in the Southern Ocean there. That is all from me. Back again tomorrow. But just a reminder, due to family bereavement this week, we're still not going to be fully back with our videos. So we have another video tomorrow, Tuesday, and then that is it for the rest of this week. But next week is April. We're back to our normal schedule then, including next Monday kicking off with ClimateWatch and taking a look at how April is shaping up. That's all from me for today though. We'll see you again tomorrow, Tuesday, with our next update.